You know, it's funny, this video is quite possibly the best sequel to the last one I uploaded, in which I mentioned that for the most part, I don't consider myself someone who's super invested in gaming. I can only think of 2 or 3 series of games that I genuinely care about, while the rest of the landscape, while there are plenty of games that I would dedicate my time to, and I have. At the same time though, I don't think I have the same level of passion for this industry as I do for other mediums such as anime and manga. I think the 2 game series that I really care about are the Ultimate Ninja and the Yakuza slash Like a Dragon series. Now hilariously, both these series have done things very recently that perfectly explains why I've been growing sour towards gaming as a whole. So let's start with Ultimate Ninja. Now, when I say that I'm passionate about the Ultimate Ninja series, I'm not just talking about Storm, which is what most people think about. I've been fucking with this series since the PS2 games. I've observed how much they've evolved since then, and overall, I'm very pleased with the work they've done. Of course, they have made a few duds and compromises, but I look back at the whole series very fondly. And I think this is one of the reasons for why, even though the promotional material for the upcoming Storm Connections has so far been pretty lackluster, I was still holding on to some hope and waiting until we learned more about the gameplay. Well, we finally did, and after a long wait, I was pretty bummed out. Now, it wasn't just because the predictions that I made turned out to be false, which they did. I was completely wrong as far as what I thought would be included in the game, at least for the things that weren't confirmed. Obviously, I was correct about the knockdown state no longer being invincible and the secondary jutsu, but I was wrong about my prediction of there being a heavy attack and potentially a new type of tilt move. I was wrong, it is what it is. But probably the most disappointing aspect of all of this is that after watching Globku's video, the impression that I ended up getting from all of it was that all of the comments that people were making about this being a glorified remaster of Storm 4, they were right. The game even has a lot of the same exploits like the chakra saving during character switching, infinites, it all seems to be there. Additionally, I've been keeping up with some Twitter live spaces. Now, they're not available to listen to anymore, so I can't directly source anything I'm about to say. It's up to you to decide whether or not this information is credible or not. Now, a couple of months ago, when Storm Connections was first revealed, Senju Japan mentioned that there were a few ideas that ended up getting scrapped. Things such as open world, character creation, a clan system, and during one of the live spaces, he even mentioned that prior to Storm Connections, there was, as he describes, another Storm. He even shared screenshots of it, and pretty much all of it ended up getting scrapped. Now, as far as the reasons why, well, we could spend all day coming up with our own theories, but there is something that's for certain. The game is being rushed. Apparently, it seems like CyberConnect 2 might not even have a marketing team at this moment, or at least during the past few months. So all I'm really interpreting from all of this is that this is a production fiasco. Again. And honestly, hearing all of this does not give me any faith in the game. Now, to its credit, the changes being made do actually seem pretty good. I like the fact that there's a second jutsu, I like how it's seemingly easier to combo out of a jutsu attack, and even being able to chakra dash during an air combo. I think I kinda prefer counters leaving opponents stunned over blowing them away. I know people don't really like the stuns in Storm Revolution, but I actually like this one better, not only because you can sub out of it, but I also think that the previous solution of blowing back the opponent just ended up encouraging a more boring defensive play. I think these changes will make the game more aggressive and overall more fun. I truly do believe that. But at the same time, after waiting 7 years for a new game, it's pretty disappointing seeing what feels like a patched version of Storm 4 that doesn't even have the high-skilled story adaptations from past games, instead opting for a bullshit recut of previous boss battles and an original story mode that we know nothing about. Now, by the time I upload this video, we might get new information on the game during this summer showcase, so I am still keeping in touch with the game, and for what it's worth, I still think the game is probably going to be good. I mean, at this point, I might as well believe that since I've already pre-ordered it. Also, speaking of which, according to one of the retailers in my city, this game might come out in October 20th. They say it's only a prediction. I don't know what they're basing that date off of, but yeah, make of that what you will. In my opinion, I would be happier if they just delayed the game because I have this small suspicion that this game is gonna come out in an incomplete and buggy state. Just like every game nowadays. I swear to God, if this game comes up with one of those generic apology PNGs with the typical "we are aware of the issues that have been reported" or "we did not meet the expectations of the players," fucking AI generated apology letters. Anyway, then there's Like a Dragon. Now, ever since all of the showcases released during June with Like a Dragon Gaiden and Infinite Wealth, I was just dancing in excitement, wondering what crazy adventures to expect. But then I got hit with bad news after bad news. Now, before I bring up Like a Dragon Gaiden, can I just ask, why the fuck did they remove the credits for some of the original people who worked on the legacy Yakuza games, including Nagoshi himself, when they published the Yakuza collection in GOG? At first, I was happy knowing that there were now DRM-free listings of the Yakuza games, minus some of the more recent ones. Like, fuck, I repurchased all of them, again, for preservation's sake. But honestly, now knowing that they removed the credits for Nagoshi just because he left the studio, like, Sega, I don't give a fuck if they're no longer working there. They made those games. Credit them. But whatever, that's a whole different issue. What I want to talk about specifically is the fact that Like a Dragon Gaiden apparently might not even have a physical release, at least not here in the West. In Asia, I think they're still going to publish physical discs, and based on my most recent experience of testing a Ryuga Gotoku game, namely the Lost Judgment demo back in 2021 that was made available in the Japanese store, I think those editions probably will have English subtitles, so I'll just end up importing them when I get the chance. But there are two very big problems. First of all, as far as I can tell, this is only for PlayStation copies. If you have an Xbox, you're fucked. Your only choice is to buy the digital version. Now, I don't have an Xbox, so this isn't an issue for me personally, but what is a problem is the shipping cost. I've imported things from Japan several times, and let me tell you, it's not fun. I have to cough up a lot of money, in some instances more than the price of the actual order, to get the thing shipped to Portugal. Not to mention, there's no way that thing is gonna get delivered by the time the game gets released. I will likely have to wait days, weeks, or however long I need in order for it to get shipped. And look, I will go through this regardless because in the end, I'm still excited for this game and I have no interest in buying the digital version. It just sucks that I have to go through this mess, and it's not gonna get any better. I think this right here marks the start of a grim future in which more and more publishers are just gonna abandon physical releases altogether. It costs less to publish a game digitally, they don't have to worry as much about supplies, and they can control the entire market when there's only one centralized store. And you know, the cruel irony in all of this is that Ultimate Ninja and Like a Dragon are two fairly important series of games that I'm really invested in. And yet, both have upcoming games that represent exactly what I dislike about modern gaming. Rushed releases and the death of physical copies. You know, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was the last generation for me. No joke, with Sony apparently planning to release a revision of the PS5 with a separate detachable disc drive, if the PS6 comes out and they've abandoned discs altogether, meanwhile every game has turned into an online only, you don't own the game, fucking sign into your account, borderline unplayable, early access, we're gonna patch this after 6 months bullshit that we've been seeing recently, I think at this point I'm not even gonna buy a new console. I would be willing to say that I would still upgrade my PC build just for retro gaming and maybe play some indies. But then again, with PC components becoming ridiculously expensive and GPU manufacturers being more interested in AI than gaming, I am seriously questioning if that's something that I even want to do. But yeah, at least I still like reading manga. That's the one thing I can rely on for the time being. Other than that, I think that's all I have to share. Thank you for listening to my depressive rant. Take care. Oh wait, I forgot. There's actually one other series of games that I should have mentioned. Blue Reflection, that's another treasure of mine. Well, on the bright side, it runs a little bit better on Linux now, so that's good to hear. Oh wait, I forgot. Isn't that the same series that has turned into gacha shit? Oh yeah, it is. I think they announced OWL recently. Yeah, I'm done with this.